All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Saturday. Hopefully you're having a good day. How about those Buckeyes? Buckeyes national champions? I think so. All right, so before we get into this, guys, we've because of the wildfires, we've only got 5 NBA games. We got 2 NFL games, Wild Card Saturday. So we're going to talk about each one of those. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord. It is absolutely free. Link is down below. We posted, I posted 3 betting slips in there, plus 200 or more. And we hit 2 out of 3. So the third one we hooked. We just needed Chris Middleton to get 1 more rebound and assist. We had that paired with Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists. Didn't happen. We ended up at 7. So that was unlucky, but hit 2 out of 3 there. Okay, so let's delve into this card, get you guys on your way. So first game, Rockets and the Hawks, and we only have 5 because of the wildfires in Los Angeles. So the Clippers game and the Lakers game were both postponed. But we see a line of -5.5 for Houston. This feels really off. I initially would have put this at about 7.5. So a light lean towards Houston, -5.5, but I like the under 233.5. That is I would say a mid line for the Hawks, very high for the Rockets. So give me under 233.5. We saw a very similar line with the Grizzlies game that ended up going under this. So I really like that 233.5. No Jalen Johnson for the Hawks, just a significant impact there. Means guys like Dyson Daniels, Rashasher, Trey Young, they all have to step up on the scoring side. I just don't love it for them. Next game, Utah Jazz and the Phoenix Suns. Jazz getting 11.5. Now, this Jazz team hasn't had John Collins. Keontae George has been out. So, I understand the 11.5, but Phoenix just has not been blowing me away. So I don't really want to touch this. I don't trust the Jazz plus 11.5, and I don't trust Phoenix minus 11.5. This would be a fade spot for me. If anything, I would lean over 228.5. A couple of games ago when these guys played in Utah, it was just an absolute scoring fest. So there was absolutely zero defense being played on either team. And they ended up going like 260, 270. So that would be my lean there. Raptors and the Pistons. We see the Pistons -4.5 at home. This Raptors team's wild. I mean, they've been getting absolutely shellacked. And then they go into the Garden and hung with the Knicks right up until the very, very end. So a little confusing there. But ultimately, I'd say give me Detroit -4.5. I would lean towards the under 229.5, but that's a very, very light lean. Don't love the over-under in this one. I would say you got to go Detroit -4.5. All right, Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. We got a very fast-paced team against a very slow-paced team with an over-under of 230.5. I think that is a very, very accurate line. A light lean towards the under, and give me Minnesota -1.5. Kind of scary just because Minnesota hasn't been fantastic, but I like their way they're trending. Grizzlies are still kind of the walked wounded a little bit, so I want to see how that goes, but I would say give me Memphis -1.5. Last game on the card here, we've got Miami and Portland. Miami -3.5. I mean, this is a very light line. Typically, when we see Portland, it's very rare that we do not see them double digits or very, very close to double digits. Just kind of tells you the dysfunction that's going on with the Miami Heat, to be honest. Trailblazers are decent against the 3. That's why we're seeing this line. Miami lives and dies by the 3-point shot. So I would say in this one, you got to take Miami -3.5, just the better team. That said, I don't love taking Miami. And then the over-under of 219, very perfectly placed. I think they nailed that one. I would see this going under 219, but man, we're talking within 2 or 3 points. I think that line is actually really scary accurate. So Miami -3.5, a light lean towards that under 219. All right, let's talk about the NFL. Let's get to the fun stuff today. All right, so we've got our first game is going to be at 4:30. It's going to be the Chargers and the Texans. So I like the way the Chargers have been trending. I don't like the way the Texans have been trending. Offensively, they've been really bad. CJ Stroud has just not looked fantastic. Right, he's lost Tank Dell. He's got Meacham. He's got Nico Collins. That said, I think Nico Collins has an outstanding day. I just don't know if it'll be enough. The over-under on rush attempts for Joe Mixon, 17.5. That's very telling to me. Tells me the books don't think he's necessarily going to be able to run the ball too effectively. And I just don't trust Stroud right now. He has just not looked fantastic. Defense has been okay, but they've had their lapses. So I don't really see an avenue to not go with the Chargers here -3. It's just weird to me that this line hasn't moved, right? And it's one of those where you got to think that the books are smarter than us. So my lean is Chargers -3. I mean, I've got this handicap 27-20 Los Angeles Chargers. So I do like the over 41.5. It's just the only way this game stays within 3. I know that the Texans have a great run D, but they have been susceptible to the pass. Herbert is very good. Let's not make a mistake here. This guy is a top level QB. So got to go Chargers in this spot. And the next game, Steelers and the Ravens. Man, Russell Wilson has been highly unimpressive the last several weeks. He didn't look good in the Bengals game, didn't look good when they played the Ravens. So, we see a line of 9.5. I don't know if I want to take Baltimore -9.5 in this spot, but at home, playoff environment, I think Lamar just has himself a day. It's kind of weird that his pass line's 214.5. Last time I checked on like FanDuel, I would lean towards the over on that one. It's not on the betting card, but it's almost one where I want to take Pittsburgh +9.5. It just feels, I think we're going to get that Steelers playoff D showing up. Ravens defense has really stepped it up as of late. But the one thing about Russell Wilson, man, he can throw that deep ball probably better than anybody. I mean, he just throws this moon ball that just lands perfectly in their arms. So you're going to need to have a day from guys like George Pickens, who really hasn't done much. Mike Williams is going to have to contribute today. Freiermuth will be highly active. Baltimore side of the ball, no Zay Flowers. That is a huge impact, right? Guys like Rashad Bateman are going to have to step up. Mark Andrews. So he's going to need a full complement of his receivers for Lamar. I think we're going to see a ton of Derrick Henry today. His rushing attempts are at like 20.5. I love the over. I think they've been preserving him for the playoffs. There's been a lot of games where I thought he was going to run more and he didn't. I think they start to unleash him this game. So I like Derrick Henry today. Over under a 43.5. I just don't know if I can get behind the Steelers to score a bunch of points. So I would lean towards the under 43.5 in this game. So those are the two games. Let's get into our best bets, get you guys on your way. We're going to start in the NBA. We're going to go Alperen Sengun over 4.5 assists. He's been crushing this line. He has been dishing the ball very nicely. And I like this because Fred VanVleet is heavily favored to go under 6.5 today. There should be a decent amount of assists in this game. I think it's going to come from Alperen. So I like his over 4.5 assists. Now, conversely, I like Kevin Durant's under 4.5 assists. Just not a good spot for him from an assist standpoint. We see Devin Booker's at 7.5 assists. I don't know if he gets to 7.5, which is why I like Tyrus Jones over 4.5 assists. He's a little bit spotty on this line, but he's got a really good matchup to get some assists today. So I will take you over there. Give me Lauri Markkanen over 5.5 rebounds. We haven't touched the Lauri Markkanen over and rebounds this season. The only thing we've done is taken his under. But since Collins has been out, he's really stepped it up on the rebound front. And he's got a decent matchup today to get some boards. I think Kessler, his line's 11.5. I do think he gets to 12, but I just think this is a better play to take Lauri today over Kessler. Next play is going to be Jalen Duren over 9.5 rebounds. He's been looking really good. As long as he can, not be an idiot and get in foul trouble, I think he clears this line pretty easily. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him get 11 or 12, to be honest with you. Jacob Poeltl under 10.5 rebounds. He's been under this line in 8 of his last 9 games. We've just seen Scotty Barnes snag a lot of his boards. We've seen RJ Barrett come in and get his rebounds. So I just don't love this spot for him to get rebounds today against Phoenix. I think he'll have Nurkic, who should be back playing. Plumlee will obviously be starting, but I think he'll get contested. I just don't love this spot for him. And then give me Rudy Gobert, our last NBA play, over 10.5 rebounds. Really good spot for him. Great hit rate from centers playing them, and he's over in 3 straight. So he's kind of, still got his groove back, so to speak. I like the way he's looking. So those are the NBA plays. Let's get to the NFL. First one's going to be Ladd McConkey. I like his receptions and his receiving. Receiving-wise, he's over this in 3 straight. He's over this in 6 of his last 7. Houston, 26th in wide receiver receiving yards. That's a tongue twister. And then on the receptions front, he's over this in 8 of his last 9 as well. So I think it's going to be the Lab McConkey show today. Quentin Johnston, I just can't trust that guy. He is the ultimate butterfinger. Can't trust him to actually catch a ball. So Lab McConkey is a very reliable receiver that Justin Herbert will utilize often. Next one's going to be Gus Edwards, over 5.5 rushing attempts. Just feels low, man. I feel like he's going to get 7 or 8. He's over this in 8 straight games, so I really don't see a reason to not play this today. But we know Houston has a very good run D, and he's primarily going to get goal line carries and things like that. So I don't think not going to get 10 or 12 here. Nico Collins, over 26.5 longest reception. He's over this in 7 of his last 10. Chargers are 23rd in wide receiver long reception, so they don't do very well. They do give up some deep, explosive plays. And then give me CJ Stroud, under 3.5 rushing attempts. He's under this in 7 of his last 10. Los Angeles Chargers are 17th in rushing attempts to the QB, but just as of late, he hasn't been rushing the ball. I just don't like this spot for him. Give me Derrick Henry, over 20.5 rushing attempts. He had 24 versus Pittsburgh on the 21st of December. No Zay Flowers, like I said. I think it's going to be the Derrick Henry show. Also like his over 4.5 receiving yards. He is over this in 3 straight, and it's not like he's barely over it. He is in the 20s in 3 straight games. So to get 5, I like this spot. He had 27 yards on the 21st versus Pittsburgh. He's over this in 2 of 3 games versus Pittsburgh. So I do like this spot. And then last play, give me Mark Andrews, anytime touchdown. He's had a touchdown in 6 straight games, 8 of his last 10. Again, no Zay Flowers. Now he's only got 1 touchdown in 7 games versus Pittsburgh, but that touchdown came last game. So I do love this spot. Another line I was looking at was Russell Wilson, under 4.5 rush attempts. Didn't pull the trigger on it. Derrick Henry, over rushing yards. I do like that spot. Nico Collins, over receiving yards. Those are all plays that I do think have some value. And then, of course, I talked about Lamar, over passing yards, has some value as well. So those are all my plays. Lots and lots of plays. A recap from yesterday. I completely forgot to talk about that. We went 5-2 in the NBA, so nice little bounce back day. We had Goga Batadze, under 9.5 rebounds. That was sweat free. He ended up at 5. Chris Middleton, over 3.5 rebounds. He hooked us, ended up at 3. I thought he was going to start. He came off the bench, so he lost about 5 minutes that he normally would have played, or I feel very confident this cashes. Paolo Banchero, over 4.5 rebounds. This was stupid sweat-free. He came out a rebound machine. We cashed this about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Isaiah Hartenstein, under 16.5 rebounds plus assist. Now, he played really, really well, but it was an absolute blowout, so we nailed that one. Keegan Murray, over 5.5 rebounds. We didn't come close. He got 3 because Domantas Sabonis ended up with 28 rebounds. 28. So, there wasn't a lot of rebounds to go around after Domantas was snagging everything. And then give me, so we had Nikola Vucevic, over 10.5 rebounds. He cashed this before halftime. That was sweat-free. I have no idea what he ended up at, but he blew through that line. And then we had CJ McCollum, under 4.5 assists. He ended up at 3. Cash money. We keep going back to CJ under assist. It has panned out very well for us. So a nice little bounce back day of 5-2. Ton of plays here. Good luck, guys. If you haven't yet, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord. Link is down below. We've already got the ladder challenge posted for the day. So that is free and on Discord. And I'll catch you in the next video.